Fellas, we've just had UFC 304. I've got a lot of mixed emotions after this card. Some obvious performances that I'm very happy with. Some performances that I'm not too happy with. But I'm going to be going through every single fighter that just competed on the main card, matching them into fighters that I think make the most sense. All the fighters that won, all the fighters that lost. Into fighters that, like I said, just make the most sense for us fans and just make sense in general for fights that we need to see next. So let me know your thoughts on the card that just went down for UFC 304 and these matchups. But we're getting there with the first fight, which was Arnold Allen versus Giga Chikadze. Actually a pretty decent fight between the two of them. It was a nice little striking matchup. First round definitely went to Giga Chikadze. Last round definitely went to Arnold Allen. The second round was quite close, but Arnold Allen took it according to the judges. So we'll start off with Giga Chikadze. He didn't look too bad out there. Like I said, it was a really close fight, but we need to give him a bit of a step down in competition now. He's won 1 out of his last 3, and that win was to Alex Caceres. So for Giga Chikadze, I think we should see him versus the winner of Joanderson Brito and Gomez. They're matched up against each other. I mean, Joanderson Brito is one of the best unranked featherweights in the world. I think he needs a big crack at the featherweight rankings if he can beat Gomez, and same for Gomez. And listen, like I said, Giga Chikadze versus Joanderson Brito will be an amazing fight. You've got two guys, really good strikers. It's a good chance for Joanderson Brito to fight an unranked guy, to fight a ranked guy and get his name out there. And it's a good chance for obviously Giga Chikadze to fight somebody that's unranked, but isn't an easy win. Joanderson Brito's good, man. He's beaten Jack Shaw, he's beaten Jonathan Pierce, he's beaten Diego Lopez as well. He's got a lot of good wins. He's super dangerous. He's well-rounded. I think he's a great fight. And same for William Gomez. If he can beat one of the best unranked featherweights in the world in Joanderson Brito, give him a ranked fighter, give him Giga Chikadze. I don't think we need to be giving Giga Chikadze any of these, ranked fighters anymore. He hasn't really earned it. Not that he had a bad performance against Arnold Allen, but he has taken a lot of losses recently. He got destroyed by Calvin Kattar. So for Giga Chikadze, let him fight the winner of Joanderson Brito and William Gomez. Send them the winner of that into the rankings. Let Giga Chikadze welcome them into the rankings. And I think that'll be a really fun striking matchup, and it'd do a lot for both of them. Like I said, the winner of Brito and Gomez gets their name out of there. It's a chance for Giga Chikadze to cement himself in the rankings, get another good win. So I think that should be the next fight for Giga Chikadze. And then for Arnold Allen, the winner, I'm so glad that Arnold Allen's back in the winning column. I couldn't bear watching Arnold Allen go on like a 3-fight losing streak. So for Allen, I want to see him versus Yair Rodriguez. He needs to be back in the top 5. You look at his 2 losses as well. He lost to Max Holloway, who's one of the best in the world. There's no shame in that, and he didn't even get finished. And he lost to Movsar Evloev, but it was a bit of a robbery. And he just beat Giga Chikadze in a very close fight. I see Yair Rodriguez kind of like a better version of Giga Chikadze. He's a really good kickboxer. He's kind of earned his place in the top 5, but he hasn't really been looking good recently. Got finished by Volkanovski and Brian Ortega, and he was supposed to beat Ortega as well. The dude's last win was Josh Emmett all the way back at UFC 284. I think this would be a really fun matchup. It's very similar to the Giga Chikadze fight for Arnold Allen, except in my opinion, it's a more sharp kickboxer who's more experienced at the top level. And yeah, I think this would be a really fun matchup on the feet. If Arnold Allen can beat Yair Rodriguez, the Arnold Allen title run is all over again. If Yair Rodriguez can beat Arnold Allen, he's beaten one of the best featherweights in the world. He's back on a win, and then he can start fighting these top 5 guys again. I think this is a really fun matchup. Potential fight night main event, because the UFC fight night recently have been absolutely atrocious. So get this on a fight night main event. Allen versus Yair Rodriguez. Absolute banger on the feet between 2 guys. And if Allen wants to mix it up, he can, because Yair Rodriguez's grappling is so shit. The next fight we have is Christian Leroy Duncan versus Gregory Rodriguez. Again, quite a fun fight between the two of them. The crowd sounded like they were half asleep. But yeah, Gregory Rodriguez was just too good. The grappling exchanges from him were too good. The striking exchanges were too good, and he got the win by decision. So for Christian Leroy Duncan, I think he should be fighting Khizriev. Khizriev, he's a big prospect in the middleweight division. He's undefeated. He's got a lot of hype to his name. And he's not on a winning streak because his last one was a no contest. But before that, he was on a dominating winning streak. And I think Christian Leroy Duncan's the perfect fight, because if he can beat Christian Leroy Duncan, then from there he can get big fights in the middleweight division. But I think this is very winnable for Christian Leroy Duncan, because like I said, he's very well-rounded. He's Duncan. He's got great striking, great grappling. Or maybe not great, but he's got good grappling and good striking, and he's well-rounded. Maybe not for the highest level. And I feel like it's the perfect fight where we can really see how good Khizriev is. So I'd do undefeated Khizriev versus Christian Leroy Duncan. Big step up for Khizriev, but he seems like he's earned it. Duncan's coming off a loss, and he's obviously not one of the best middleweights right now. So Christian Leroy Duncan versus Khizriev, I think, should be the next fight. And then for Gregory Rodriguez, undoubtedly one of the best unranked middleweights in the world, but there's so many unranked middleweight prospects. He called for a ranked fighter, but like I said, there's too many unranked middleweights right now that are doing really well. And I feel like middleweight in the unranked area is kind of becoming stacked. So I think he needs one more fight before he gets a ranked fighter, and that should be Andre Muniz. this is the perfect fight where we can really see how good Gregory Rodriguez's grappling is, because Andre Muniz is really good in grappling, but he has faced adversity a lot recently. He faced it against Brendan Allen. He faced it against Paul Craig. The dude got finished by ground and pound to Paul Craig, but he is coming off a win, and I feel like this is the perfect fight, because if Gregory Rodriguez can beat Andre Muniz and potentially display his grappling even more than he did on Duncan against an already experienced grappler in Muniz, then give him a ranked opponent, give him a Chris Curtis, give him somebody in that top 15 ranking. And for Andre Muniz, if he can shut down the prospect of Gregory Rodriguez, that's a big win for him. It gives him big fights from there, and I think this should just be a banger for Gregory Rodriguez. I think it's very finishable. It's a very highlight reel-esque fight to give him. So if Gregory Rodriguez wants some hype, give him Andre Muniz. It's a test, but it's also got a lot of potential to give him a highlight reel because of Andre Muniz's shit striking. So I would do Gregory Rodriguez for Andre Muniz just before he gets a ranked fighter. Then we have Bobby Green versus Paddy Pimblett. Listen, I picked Bobby Green to win, but fair play if you picked Paddy Pimblett to win. And he kind of just shut down a lot of... I remember when Paddy Pimblett joined the UFC, and people were saying that he's got no chance of ever becoming ranked. He's now going to be a ranked fighter come Tuesday. The dude just finished Bobby Green in the first round by submission. I think he might have broken his arm as well. He bent it in a weird way, but... yeah, really, really, really good win for Paddy Pimblett there. Not only did he get the big win over Bobby Green, but he got the submission and slept him in the first. So for Paddy Pimblett, we'll start off with Bobby Green actually. For Bobby Green, I think he should just consider retirement or some time off. Listen, he's not Tony Ferguson level washed. I still think he can have some really good performances for the UFC career that he might have left, but... listen, he's been having a couple finish losses recently. He got finished by Paddy Pimblett, got put to sleep. I don't know what conditions his arm is in. Not too long ago, he got brutally finished by Jalen Turner. Not too long before that, he got not brutally, but he got finished by Islam Makhachev. He's getting up there in age. He's not going to be a ranked fighter anymore, so I think he should just consider retirement. He's done enough in the sport. He's made a bag. He's made a name for himself. He's made himself into a little bit of a star and a personality. So he's already done enough for the lightweight division in the UFC, so I think he should just consider some time off, or maybe even retire from the sport. And if he's going to get matched against someone, like I said, I don't think he should be put into an immediate matchup, because he is in a stacked division in the lightweight division. It's not just easy to give him a free matchup. So take some time off, heal up, consider if you want to do this any longer, and if you do, we'll find a matchup from there. But for Paddy Pimblett, I don't need to explain why. It should be Renato Moicano if he beats Benoit Saint-Denis. I think Pimblett should fight the winner of this matchup. I mean, if Renato Moicano can beat Benoit Saint-Denis, this is the obvious fight to make in the lightweight division. Two guys that are very charismatic and obviously promotable. Two guys that are very jiu-jitsu heavy. Two guys that have called each other out. Two of some of the biggest stars in... well, I won't say the biggest stars in the lightweight division, but the biggest up-and-coming stars in the lightweight division. This would be such a fun build-up, such a fun fight, such a fun, interesting clash of styles. I think it would be an amazing fight to do. And listen, if Pimblett can beat Moicano, which I think he can, we might even see Paddy Pimblett in the top 10 of the lightweight division, which is crazy, considering people never even thought he'd get close to the rankings. And obviously, if Benoit Saint-Denis can beat Renato Moicano, then we'll do Pimblett versus Benoit Saint-Denis, England versus France. Benoit Saint-Denis is still a very dangerous dude for Pimblett. So Paddy Pimblett versus either Benoit Saint-Denis or Renato Moicano. I think that's the obvious fight to make next, and I think it's very, very winnable for Paddy Pimblett. But then we've got Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blades. He is the best heavyweight in the world. Like I said, I'll do a proper breakdown tomorrow. But he is the best heavyweight in the world. What was that, like a minute and a half? Some people are saying early stoppage. I don't care. Aspinall's the real champion of the heavyweight division. Knocked out Curtis Blades with ease in the first round. So we'll start off with Curtis Blades. He might have been an early stoppage. His title aspirations are over. He can't handle a big punch, but he's still a dangerous guy in the heavyweight division. I think he should face the winner of not Tatu Ivaza. I keep saying Tatu Ivaza every time I talk about Tibera. Marcin Tybura and Sergey Spivak, they've got a fight night coming up in August. The winner of that fight, I think, should take on Curtis Blades. It really shows how good Curtis Blades' grappling could be because they, two heavy grapplers there. And on the feet, I think it's very winnable for Curtis Blades. It could just be a free win to Curtis Blades, but Spivak versus Blades is a matchup that I'm actually quite interested to see, just because of how their grappling will go along. And I think if obviously Spivak can beat Tybura, and if Tybura can beat Spivak, they're going to need a big fight from there. So I think Curtis Blades is the perfect guy to do that too. So Curtis Blades versus the winner of Sergey Spivak and Marcin Tybura, maybe in like a fight night main event. And then for the heavyweight champion of the world, Tom Aspinall, he should be fighting the winner of John Jones and Stipe Miocic. Let's be honest, the winner of that fight is probably going to retire. But theoretically, it should be John Jones. I mean, it should be John Jones next. Fuck Stipe Miocic, with all due respect. It should be John Jones next, but I just don't think the UFC are going to do that. So I think the winner of John Jones and Stipe Miocic obviously should be fighting Tom Aspinall. He's defended the interim belt. But if we're being realistic, the winner of Jones and Miocic is probably going to retire. So it's probably going to end up being the winner of Cyril Gane and Alexander Volkov, which I'm not too bad about. I think Aspinall versus Volkov is probably a bit of a dead build-up because we all know what's going to happen. We've seen it before. Aspinall would fucking destroy Volkov. And Aspinall versus Gane, that's probably one of the better build-ups if Gane can beat Volkov, because a lot of people still seem to think that Gane can beat Tom Aspinall. I remember this is a fight that's been getting matched for like the past couple of years. It'll be a massive fight because obviously Gane's quite a big name in the heavyweight division. Two very winnable fights for Tom Aspinall. So either the winner of Gane and Volkov or the winner of Jones and Stipe. Essentially, Tom Aspinall's got the entire heavyweight division that he can take out. I don't really care who he fights next as long as I see Aspinall back in the octagon, because he is the future of the heavyweight division. And now this is where the table turns a little bit. Now this is where the momentum kind of shifts. The atmosphere kind of changes. Leon Edwards versus Belal Muhammad. What he's got, like I said, I'm going to do a breakdown tomorrow. What was Leon Edwards doing? This looked like Leon Edwards when he fought Usman the second time, except he never had that round 5 moment. Belal Muhammad, he just dominated Leon Edwards, and I'm really scared for the future of the welterweight division. Leon Edwards, I don't even want him to become a champion anymore. I know I'm from the UK and I should be supporting him, but he didn't deserve it in that performance. He was never an entertaining champion. Give him the winner of Sean Brady and Gilbert Burns. They're having a fight night main event, I think, in August as well, or maybe it might be early September, whatever. 2 heavy grapplers as well, where we can see how Leon's grappling potentially has improved since that Muhammad fight. The winner of Gilbert Burns and Sean Brady, they're going to need a fairly big fight. Definitely not a title fight, especially not for Gilbert Burns, considering he's lost to Belal Muhammad and JDM already. And obviously Sean Brady's lost to Belal Muhammad. 3 guys who have all been beaten by Belal Muhammad. Leon Edwards versus the winner of Burns versus Brady, I think is a matchup next for Leon Edwards. I know Ian Gary's also a name that people have been throwing about, but I think Ian Gary deserves a proper top contender. And for Belal Muhammad, after that really good performance, listen, you got the job done, Belal Muhammad, but the welterweight division might actually be the worst division in the UFC. And I'm not one of these people that just hate on Belal Muhammad for the sake of hating on Belal Muhammad, but fuck me, this division is going to be one of the most depressing divisions. We've got 2 guys who can save us, JDM and Shavkat, and it seems like Shavkat's going to be next. Please, for the love of God, Shavkat Rakhmonov, submit, beat, whatever you need to do. Please take the belt away from Belal Muhammad. We've got a guy that is struggling to get a finish and a guy that has a 100% finish rate. Shavkat's deserved the title shot. Shavkat Rakhmonov, Belal Muhammad, please, whatever happens, Shavkat, please get the win. If not you, JDM, get the win. We need to save the welterweight division. Shavkat's definitely next in line, but that is how I would matchmake every fighter that fought on the main card of UFC 304. I'll do a proper breakdown tomorrow where I do the best and the worst moments to come from this card. But let me know your thoughts on the card as a whole, what you thought went down, overall thoughts on these fights. Thank you.